Hi guys, Carla here. I'm an autistic psychologist and I was diagnosed with autism on the 11th of March 2024. It's been 1 year, so let me tell you 3 things that have changed since I've got my diagnosis. Thing number 1, I don't hate myself that much anymore. Before knowing I was autistic, I would think a lot about how I cannot maintain and create real friendships, and that would be very hard for me because I would see all of these people with friends. It's not as if I didn't have friends, but I never felt like I connected with anybody. I didn't feel like I had real friends, which I didn't. And I always blamed myself for this. I constantly got told that I was boring, that I didn't want to hang out, even though I wanted to hang out. It's just that people didn't ask me to. So it was really hard growing up being like this and thinking that there was something wrong with me, thinking that I'm not enough, that these people are able to create friendships and be together and be happy, but only if I'm not there. And I didn't know why that was happening. But after my diagnosis, I realized that there's nothing wrong with my personality. There's nothing wrong with who I am as a person. It just so happens that I'm autistic and I struggle with social interaction. My ways of seeing the world is not how the neurotypicals see the world. So of course, I'm not going to socialize the same way most people I knew socialize. So this is obviously going to make it harder for me to find people that socialize like me. And even when I pretend that I don't care and that everything's fine and that I personally know that the people I cross paths with, they're not great, but it still hurts to always be the one left out. However, knowing that I'm autistic really takes out emotional charge out of that, because it's not me, Carla, it's me who struggles with this, and people who have not been able to accept me how I am. And to be my friend, you have to accept me how I am, take it or not. I've also realized by making friends who are autistic as well, how easy it is to talk to people who are autistic, because the way we communicate has nothing to do with how neurotypicals communicate or how neurotypicals want you to communicate with them. And it's a lot more freeing to be able to just talk and say the things how you want, and to connect with people who really know your struggles and who will be more understanding. Another thing that annoys me sort of not having my diagnosis when I was younger is that I remember a lot of things that I did and that I said, which were because of my autism. Like, for example, I used to infodump a lot and talk about my special interest a lot. Why? Because I didn't know what else to say. And honestly, put me in a room full with people that are not talking, because that's what happened when I was younger, and I felt pressure to talk. So what am I going to talk about? My special interest. And my friends were very annoyed at me and wanted me to shut up. So maybe if I had gotten my diagnosis earlier, I could have received, I don't know, some help, and could have been told, hey, by the way, you don't have to talk if they're not talking. It's fine. Because I still do think that if you're friends with an autistic person, or anyone really, please, people have empathy. If they really like something, it is nice if you hear them talk about it. I don't know if I'm saying something crazy. Let me know. I don't think it's that crazy. That's one thing that has changed. I don't blame myself that much anymore. I'm more understanding with myself. If I ever feel like I have failed at a socializing event or at talking to someone, or that I've said something a bit off, I would normally hate myself a lot for it and think about it a lot. But now I'm like, okay, I'm autistic. I struggle. This is going to happen. I will try better next time, but this is who I am. Let's stop acting as if the neurotypicals don't say weird stuff or stuff that don't make sense to autistic people all the time. I deal with that. I deal with neurotypicals being weird. Then let the neurotypicals deal with me being weird. Double empathy here. So yeah, in regards to friends, it's easier for me to focus on having other autistic friends who are going to understand me better rather than trying to fit with a neurotypical person. Because now I don't see it so much as I am the problem because I don't fit to you, and rather I just see it as we are different and we don't fit each other, which let me know what you think, but I think this is an upgrade. The second thing that changed since I got my diagnosis is that I take care of myself more. Before I had my diagnosis, I would push myself until I physically couldn't take life anymore. I realized the reason why I've always been so depressed is because I put myself into autistic burnout, which gets misdiagnosed as depression, which kind of happened to me as well. That's another video. So yeah, I would push myself to the limit because I misunderstood the give 100% or try your best, and I took it literally, and I thought that giving 100% and doing your best was pushing yourself until right before you would have a heart attack, which was not good, which is why now I am trying to take care of myself, and it's way better like this. This is also very hard because being someone who has always tried to do as much as they can to realize that, hey, this is not good for you, you do have a limit, like literally every human in the world, is a difficult task. It's a difficult task to accept this when you've always been living as if you are a superhuman that can take everything no one else can. But at the end of the day, it's something I'm working on, and it's something that is definitely making my life better. And also, having my diagnosis was really good to know how to take care of myself. Before getting my autism diagnosis, I was misdiagnosed and I was really lost. I didn't know what to do because I didn't know what was wrong. But knowing that I'm autistic, now I have more ways of taking care of myself. I have more ways of knowing, okay, maybe I'm having too many social interactions, which is what ends up getting me into a burnout. Oh, I know I'm having an autistic burnout, and to deal with this, I need to reduce the number of tasks and the number of responsibilities that I have. Knowing what's actually going on with me helps me help myself. And finally, the last main thing, I am becoming more myself. I am letting me express myself and be who I really feel I am, because once you get an autism diagnosis, you realized, oh, there's this thing called masking, and I have been masking my whole life, and I've not really been showing who I truly am, not even to myself. And that's not good. Masking is actually one of the things that causes people to go into burnout, which we don't like. We don't like burnout. We don't want burnout. Some things that I may think are weird or not acceptable, I've seen in other people. I've seen in other content creators like Chloe Hayden. So seeing other people expressing themselves and not caring about fitting how neurotypical society thinks you need to be really is inspiring, and it really helps me to just be who I am. I am 100% sure that I would have not been able to create this YouTube channel if I didn't know I was autistic. And if I did, and I had created a YouTube channel only about books, believe me, this is not what you would be getting. It would be so much different. To be honest, I don't really know that well who I really am. It's a bit difficult. Even if it's been a year, I still don't really know that well who I really am without the mask, but I am learning. Hi, Carla here again. I just finished recording the video and I realized I forgot to say something very important when I was talking about unmasking. It's actually quite difficult to unmask, and it's actually quite difficult to know when to do it and who to do it with, because people are used to an idea of you. People are used to you being one way. So when you start being another way, some people may have trouble with that. All in all, having a diagnosis really has changed my life for the better. There's really not one single thing of my life that has gotten worse because of my diagnosis. It has only been better. In conclusion, diagnoses are cool. That is all for today's video. If you liked it, make sure to give it a like because it makes me really happy. If you have any questions related to what I've been talking about or anything else, remember the comment section is always open and I love replying to your comments. I hope you like this kind of content, which is a little bit more personal. I will be making more content like this in the future so that you know how my journey towards my diagnosis was and how it was like to live with a diagnosis which wasn't what I had, which was not good, I can tell you. That's for another video, so I hope to see you soon. Bye!